Good morning. Here it is Monday again. I have so much in my head to talk about, I don't know where to begin. Let me see. All right, so good morning, Paul. Yes, I'm open to not doing Monday and moving it to Thursday. We'll see what input is. I guess that thought kind of made everyone leave. I don't know. So I'm still open to yeah, it was some kind of call. I don't know. So that's where we're at. If I get input, then I will make the change. It just seems to me a lot of things from the weekend hang over, and I have difficulty making the meeting. And so, good morning, Mary Ann. How are you? Very good. Yes. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday was asked about. Yeah. Everyone can give me your Mary Ann supports Thursday. Good morning, Annie. Good to see you after such a powerful weekend, huh? I had healing school on Saturday and it was very powerful. So who's this one? And so also you would like Thursday. All right. Well, we'll see what continues to come in. Maybe it's just telling me I need to do 4 days. I have no idea. You know, God and all his many workers. I had a lot of positive things happen this weekend. I am was an avid tennis player. I used to play Middle States in New Jersey. And if you ever go there, you'll see I have a plaque, championship doubles. So certainly I got to watch Alcaraz and Sinner's final yesterday. Maybe none of you are into it. But there's so much to learn about life when you watch someone play tennis, especially in their situation. It appeared that Sinner was winning for 4 sets. And this has been a dream for Alcaraz, which I knew for a very long time. And he did absolutely everything he could. Both were having leg cramps. We didn't know it about Carlos, but you knew and you could see that Sinner was suffering. It was 5-hour tennis, and my goodness, for anyone who could keep running, because you know it's a very hard hit ball, a lot of specifics. They say they've never seen anything like it before. So I was thrilled. In the end, Alcaraz held, even he'd be down like 5 points, he would gain them back and be ahead. So it was certainly the card I got today was positive action. If we can learn to maintain that which we really want and keep the thought process and empower it each and every day, our lives would become that which we desire. Yeah, that was how I spent my yesterday. And then we went and walked and had dinner and did the normal kind of things. Let me see here for 1 minute. have a friend who her mother is very ill. I just wanted to see if that was her. So Paul would support me for 4 days. Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, I think if I were to go on to 4 days, it would have to have more of a this, and this. It kind of does now, but it's been a long time ago I began, and then it was just kind of anything. But we will see. Thank you, Marianne. So, but we can see there's a lot of people that aren't here today. I'm not aware of anything in the world. But, so yes, on one of my energy cards, I got positive action. Because it really showed me that if you really believe in your heart, I mean, when he was done, he just fell on the court. He was totally wiped. And you could tell Sinner was probably a little bit more wiped than him, you know. But this message is, I focus on the beauty in me, and I find silence. So I want you all to think for a moment. Maybe you meditate. There's 40 different types of meditation. Is it one where you allow it to guide you to you find silence? I live and honor the present by doing what I can do now. What I cannot change, I let go of and entrust to God. I think that's where a lot of people have a difficulty, is they want to keep harping to themselves. What about this? What about that? You have to let it go. You have to put out what your desire and participation is, and ask God to help you with all the rest. And it's how to go about living life, knowing that you're living with His hands right there for you to be filled. So I know, don't want to be the minister today, but positive action. I don't know if you can see in this card, but it's kind of showing the pink love, the different levels. Very powerful. And I was reading in a little book I had gotten from someone I'm working with, and the first thought was how in the beginning we began to teach ourselves about God and how He's there for us. Let me see if I'm going to be able to put my hand on it here. I gather not. It's just a few pages, but still. Give me a minute. Oh, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Now, you know, the whole process about God is believing, right? Believe. And I was always so taken by the Disney shows when they'd have the little bit of believe written. And you know, Disney was a gentleman who went out to Sedona and would sit in those mountains, and how he perceived and had his third eye open and had such a great inner relationship with the land of God and with God. So when I saw that, it says, can you not remember praying as a child? Isn't God's word still for us today? Look again at the mighty promise that God gave to us, to know that I shall not want. It is God's will for you to prosper. The Lord has pleasure in His prosperity of His servant. That's all I'm going to say. So let it be uplifting. And Part of why I wanted to bring it up is because things are changing. We have no control right now. We're like a lot of little puppets, except within ourselves and how we choose to perceive ourselves. So when we know that we are beings that are in the hands of God, we have a greater ability to be empowered to know if it isn't there yet today, it's coming, because it will come. And I guess that's what I wanted to say to everybody is, if you haven't given that to understand that God is, you might want to think about it. So, what else are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about believing, of course. So let's think for a minute, and maybe you can give me some suggestions. What do you all think about believing? And have any of you done any courses in just the power of the word to understand that you can start one word, like let's say health, and everyone start thinking about it. And what I know will happen is there'll be a greater health come to everyone who's listening today. So you have to become aware of what are you putting in your consciousness by what you see coming out. So what is healthy? Healthy is there's many definitions, and it depends on who you know. Let's see what Paul says here. Dr. Tim is here. Sure, Paul, you can tell me a word, a thought. I'm sorry. We'd all be interested. I know sometimes it takes a moment to write. The heart suffered from Dr. Tim. I haven't seen you in a while, by the way. So are you writing your thought, Paul? So I want to talk about health, go back to health then for a moment. There's a difference in a person if on one day you visit them. Oh, here it is. Thoughts and ideas exist and attract within certain frequencies. Frequencies are set by your emotional stable motion. Energy in motion if you maintain a high vibrational emotional state. And I'm not sure how many who are here will understand that, but every word has its own vibration and its frequency that it's placing out. Myself, my husband, we do healing with frequencies, sound, and are connected with that. So it's very powerful to recognize you really don't need most of what the world works with to heal. What you need is a proper frequency, and your consciousness hears it and it aligns to it. So, Dream Tooth, welcome. Hi, Mother. There is no formula for doing life. Third chakra has a lesser position than my mental flickering. I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say, but we have, all of us, our own way of believing, and no one's saying that anybody's wrong, but it's how we're guided and what comes to us that gives us our beliefs. And from where I sit as someone who works with the chakras with people, the third chakra is where we have the statement, I believe I'm a child of God. So when we think about that statement, well, what does that really mean? And there's also a lot about health and well-being and how you interact in life. So the third chakra is very powerful. The mental chakra, I assume you're going to say, is your third eye or your crown. The crown has 1,000 petals. There's so many thoughts there, so many possibilities. And if you have it to where all of your petals have turned pink, there is a knowingness that cannot be topped, or there's no need for it to be. So it's all very fascinating as you go to understand each individual. Heart is I am, phone, love, 2.0, self-love, unconditional acceptance with key, if instant forgiveness, if infinity forgives. Forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is like having a big semi-truck going down the road, just giving love to everything and not allowing anything to stop you. That's right. Your inner healing supports your outer healing, supports your inner journey. That's correct. That's very correct. You know, a lot of people are aware of chakras, but they're not sure what that chakra's got as far as thoughts or how it feels. Because all these things come from within there. They all have little vortices that go out that bring that experience into our life. What I worked with everyone this week in school was how to begin to feel their own chakras so they can have a better awareness of really what's going on, how to embrace, how to not embrace, what to change. And it can be quite powerful of an experience. So, yes, I want to go back to my thought of believing. We are human. Humanity has been here since umpteenth number of years. But the human being that we've become is different than from those that were here first. There's going to be another shift come as this turmoil that we're in shifts, and the Palladians come, and maybe some of the others, we're going to be even uplifted higher into a different frequency to not live in such heartache. A lot of people live a lot in heartache or lost. Yes, I know it's not a good thing, but it's all a teacher. Whatever is necessary in our karma personally for us to learn to grow even more comes up in our life. And I believe the shame is that people don't understand that, to grasp it instead of just being a victim. Because it's just in how you can sit and embrace the various things that are going on is how your journey that you walk upon the earth in this life, how it becomes and what it looks like. Good morning, Marby. Good morning, Lauren. Everyone's coming on. See, Mondays are difficult. We all have difficulty with Mondays. So anyway, I would like for all of you to start at least taking time in your heart to sit quietly to where you can get your mind to be quiet. That in itself is a first challenge. Some people may need to have some sort of a meditation to attain that. Usually it's a practice of learning to do that over a little bit of time to attain it. But when you finally reach a place where there's stillness, this is when you will see truth. This is when your heart will show you images and how to walk, where to walk, resolutions. So we are each the vessel, and we control over what the vessel is filled with. Well, I kind of don't believe in that because it's our thoughts that generate what we hold. And there are situations where the individual has lost control. So that's what I'm suggesting. First, you want to go and find the place where you can be still. Then you have the power to input truth and to just pluck them like weeds. I love the example of Ben being the gardener in your heart, and he shows you how to pluck the weeds of old thoughts and then how to plant the beautiful ones in the garden. And in that, they become then a whole new part of who you are. When we are able to empty the sludge of the material world, heaven will instantly fill it with the substance it was always intended to hold. Yes, somewhat similar, but I do believe we are here in the human form because it had to become that we have choice. And that's why all of us have a different experience of how we feel about God, even though in the nuclei of it, it is at oneness. And it's a fascinating journey. It truly is. The more you walk, and certainly when I was in Thailand and around a lot of monks, it totally brings you into a different awareness of, number one, what silence is. I mean, they can sit in silence for days, just like the Buddha. And then you wonder, well, what are they looking at? We have an awareness of thinking we have to be busy doing something. Well, I do know that there is a place in meditation where you can reach that there's nothingness. Nothing to be doing, nothing to be thinking. There's breathing. And some people hold their breath. We've seen them. They can lock them in a box for 5 years without any breath and anything, and they'll come out and take a breath and they'll be fine. It's all dependent on how you go about the training within yourself. And I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying we have to become aware and of the quietness inside ourselves. Yes. Why? Because otherwise you won't get to know what's noisy. The things that you do have to pluck and mostly embrace. I love embracing and watching the transformation of the illusion. You see? Yeah. And that heart that we each have, even though they're unique and different to each of us, has a blessing of unity. There's the message of the meditation of the unified heart, that it doesn't go anywhere unless it brings another part of you. And in the end, you're this large experience of union. And if someone continues to do that, they change. How do you not? Because sometimes it's difficult for people today to go into their second chakra and what's it feel like? You know, there's so many past issues from past lives, see. All these things can come up and deteriorate what you're attempting to have in your own life. So there's quite a lot of surrendering happening. So, in other words, surrendering is not having the ego, the personality, being in charge. That's something that comes from your mindset, and that it tries to intellectualize and give it form, thinking that's great. But truly, in the heart, what's the true possibility is to, oh, hello, thank you for being here, but no, we're not going that way. Because you want to know that it's still always there, and you surrender deep into the earth to discover the simplicity of all that is. So perhaps we're getting a little too deep today for everyone. If so, I apologize. But I think what's powerful is that we're alive. That we could have 4 to 12 other parts of us that look exactly like us living upon the earth. I have seen 2 of mine. And that we are, and there's others that are off the earth, healing and preparing. So every day is powerful, and every day the count is going, going, and going. However, we set it for ourselves. It's not done by someone else. It's by yourself. So how do you choose to live life? Do you choose to love? Do you choose to empower truth? Do you choose to empower harmony, surrender, innocence? That's all going to determine the situation that you find yourself in as life is, and to observe it shift as how you meet people changes, how you think about yourself changes, how you interact with, how you become a participant as one of the many people upon the earth plane right now. It's all profoundly intricate, and most people don't have a clue. So Dream 2 says, I reflect earth frequency as I surrender. I can find my star birthing super healing. Yes. You know, one day I had someone tell me, well, is all those parts of us like a puppet? And the answer that came directly from God was no. Because everybody, every part of you, every being of who you are has choice. There is no one that is pulling the strings. Do, 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 do. And that's why choice and having positive action, meaning to move into whatever that is for you. It'll be unique and different for each of us, exactly how we formulate that. All right. So, lot to say. I don't know if I want to start going down a different way. So tell me if there are questions about anything that we spoke today. Good morning, Tanny. Are you always there listening and come late? Or I don't know, and I don't know what your little image is of. I don't know. I don't remember. Oh yes, I worked at the bank, and we saw this lady who looked identical to me walk in, and she did her banking with someone else. So I went out front, and then she kind of realized we looked alike, and we spoke to each other. We both had husbands and 2 children, And she wasn't a banker, but she was doing a similar kind of office job. And we knew that we were a part of that 12 experience of personalities. Some can be on Earth, some don't have to be. And then I had a second run in with someone that looked exactly like me at the big store, IKEA. And I was with Carol, who's on here, and she was just walking along with the cart, and we go, look at that, there I am. I didn't get to talk to her. It was actually very shocking, but it did validate for me to know that there are numerous parts of ourselves that are out doing the healing and bringing parts of us into alignment for the whole. So let's see. Yeah, it's not recalling itself to me. Okay, so let me see. Why did things get so hard for me after I know I lived a kind life and felt so disrespected? Well, then I would have to say in the disrespect, it must not have been uh, uplifting and loving. And when we start to unravel that, it can be very disturbing to ourselves. We must embrace with love. Okay, so whoever asked me that, maybe it was Lauren. You'll hear it and understand it maybe more when you go back, because I don't remember. My being is very open now, kind of picking up things everywhere. So it was not how it sounded. Okay. But it's an interesting conversation to have when you think maybe there's 16 of you. And what is the purpose? And what is each one of them doing? And sometimes I used to ask, because there's once a month at the full moon that you could catch a moonbeam and go up and speak to your team, and the Master DK speaks about it. And I always wondered if that would be a meeting time. I never experienced it, but that doesn't mean it's not true. I was doing other things. Here we go again. But it's food for thought. Yes. Other parts of ourselves that can look just like us. And, when you come to Earth, you have certain things that your intention is to shift. I was raised on a farm, and the pond that I always went to every day and sit, it was all there. It's not like I had to create the beautiful setting that I lived in when I was a child. It was there. It was a happenstance. And perhaps that's why they say we choose our parents, because it was already all set and in motion. But I can't say there aren't parts of it that then came that at times I would wonder why, but I would always, in my journey, which I am on, discover exactly why that happened. Okay. And my mother and father are both in heaven, but my mother comes and sits here with me every once in a while. She works and is within a rose garden. No mistake, after her garden had to be an acre big on the farm. That was what she loved, even though she helped my dad with the whole farm. She had a huge garden, so that's where she is now, uh, bringing roses. I'm not sure if your received education summation correspondence, but I would be interested in understanding more about your mentorship. The mentorship is about discovering who you are as an individual and working on healing and releasing the parts of you that aren't in love and embracing. So it can take, everyone's is different. And then there's those who want to learn healing and understanding, and that would also come. So there's a wide girth on what it would look like, and no two peoples is alike because everyone's unique. And it would show itself and keep growing as you grow to what we were going to do together. Mhm. Along with other things, I am a divine angel that has the ability of a sight that most people don't have, that I can hear, I can see, I can feel. And it's a process for even anyone who wants to become, in my point of view, someone who helps others, that you need to develop all those gifts. Or where are you getting your information from? So the mentoring can be what you want it to be. It can be just doing healings and working on each chakra and evolving, or it can be a combination of also working and understanding how to deliver and receive and perceive. They're all gifts that can't be taken too lightly. They all take a great ability and a relationship with God. Well, are you having a lot of people that you talk to or listen to? Would be my question, Lauren. For myself, I usually only had one teacher at a time. Certainly now, my teachers are in spirit and they are aligned, because teachers, mentors have spent a lot of time meditating and evolving themselves. A collaboration can happen if the student is prepared for that. Um, Certainly, I have an entire team that works with me. I have trying to think what you would call him, a prophet maybe. Uh, he was once a prophet. And then you always have your higher self that exists with you. So in the beginning, you can't have too many because you won't know which way to go. And one won't know what the other one's doing. You want it to be a smooth journey so that you can awaken. That's the goal. Awaken to what? Awaken to the godliness within you and how to contemplate and be present in that in your life. No, I believe that becomes then the partnership with God. That has a knowing. It isn't the empowerment of the individual, but that which has come to be a partnership with that person. There's a knowing that has no doubt. And if that makes sense to you, there are many gifts also. I know a lot of people who are healer, and most use their gift in a unique way. But most all I know of them, they're with God. So it becomes that whatever is important for that one individual, you're guided to the one who's going to help you. So, and before you ask the question, if it gets to where I need that, I know who to call. So, or to sit with. I have a lot right without me, certainly. Babaji is one of my main. We were together for a long time, over 200 years ago, for a long time, as he was my actual father. So it's a long list. But those are the things you find out when you're on your journey to how to identify yourself and to understand what is going on. It's all getting quiet. Am I saying too much here? What time is it? Yeah, so Lauren, my heart goes out to you. And I have seen within you overwhelm. That would be my word. So you have to decide what you want. I think that's a way that we all begin to know we have attained something. What do we want? Do we want peace? Do you want quiet? Is it that you're searching for a friend and you want them to like you? You know, the priority has to become you. Usually, people who go upon their spiritual path and begin to examine themselves, their friends fall away. Very possible. And it's written. It's not me saying it. Why? Because you go inside yourself for a while. What's inside you? Is that your question for me? It's not appropriate for me to even sit and go there. That would be in a private session. And to see what is willing to reveal itself. You know, there's an empowerment in perhaps the illusion that first has to be touched. So Dream 2 says, without form, is that word formless has no meaning. Formless has no meaning. Without formless, the form is useless. Let me say that to myself again. Without form, formless has no meaning. Without formless, the form is useless. Very interesting. That would be something for me to sit and to, because one's a denial, and the other way you look at it, it's a need. So what would need and denial become? Right? Interesting thought. And I'm going to say confusion. I have a monk in front of me, and he is saying, this is confusing. Because he would say to you, I see you. I see you as a being. I can see the aura that you're calling formless. And there is a unique relationship that they bring to every soul, which is also the formless. So, yeah, I don't think that's what you were looking for to for me to say. Because yes, we need the body and we need the aura around us to be whole. Yes, it is always true. A human will have both. Extraterrestrials, which are coming, may just have an aura and not, or they're going to have a form that isn't like ours. So I'm not sure I agree with your thought, or to know it just wouldn't exist that way. I was watching the Deep Earth yesterday, and they found at the deepest place of the earth fish that were see-through, like invisible. And this kind of similar question made them contemplate, why at such a deep place upon the earth is there almost no form? You could see an outline. It was like invisible. But I would think that these are questions that are being asked by great scientists and who are actually coming into the discovery of the situation. So Paul says he understands my intention. Yeah. But for anyone here who isn't on your path, however that looks, it is one of the most fascinating, interesting, loving experiences you will ever give yourself. Because what you do is you learn about who you really are and what you really feel. Because we don't understand always in our childhood, we learned to behave a certain way. And that behavior is dependent on how it comes out through you today, is whether or not you should hold on to it anymore or allow a love to come and place it. You see? So, woohoo! Time to heal. Time to grow. Now, I do have, and I'm going to put it up probably tomorrow. Everyone wanted more infusions. I'm going to do 6 more. They're very powerful. If you remember, we started the others and I stopped because it was making a lot of changes from the Pallades, these infusions. So these are going to be, and we'll see if we get to 4 or if we get to 6. So I'll be putting it up tomorrow. I couldn't reach the bank yesterday to get the thing for payment. So interesting. Just by listening to words that are chosen, that are brought to you, perceptions, you're going to observe change happening. And there's not a doubt it is a way of healing from the Pallades. So it might even sound repetitive, but let's say if I say the word to you, red, today, it'll process through you. And then by tomorrow, and I say the word red again, there's even more of it. And maybe you can begin to see through the atoms. And then by the 3rd day, and when I say red to you again, something's going to start bubbling. So it's a very interesting process that when I did this before, people really enjoyed it. And I don't think have went backwards. They're growing and still wanting more, which is always a great intention when you're on this journey. So let's see. Anybody else have a final thought? What a good discussion we've had today. But then Monday's healing day, right? Did I just see something large? Okay. Yeah, I think the little thing has my phone number or whatever you want. I am going to lower my rate per hour with the situation that's going on. And I'll try to get that done today. And maybe there's a part of you that wants to know more about who you really are and discover we're all different and unique. And that's the thing that somewhere along there it gets hard. Well, I want to be like that one. Well, we can never be like another. It is about finding and loving who we are. Wow, that person does something powerful. Well, let's find what's powerful that's yours. And that's going to be even more empowered. You see? Good. Marianne, that's wonderful. I'm going to do my best to have them up by tomorrow. So if there's questions, we can talk about it. But tomorrow is relationship day, and it's usually busy, busy, busy. But I will see, because I do have a session after tomorrow, so it's a little bit more time constraint than today. So, maybe that sun's been giving us a sign that things are changing, right? So if the sun can change and have a new radiation, uh, so can we. And we become more light, more loving, and be happy, and not have requirements or needs or limitations. There's a lot of words that Americans, people on Earth, can choose to eliminate from how they define themselves, you see. It's acceptance. How about that for a word? Let's contemplate till tomorrow. Acceptance. I'm going to pick a card. I don't know where acceptance is. But after our talk today, these cards are magical. I'm just telling you. You'll see in a minute when I get them separate. They always speak to the moment. Learning to love myself. How about that? Is that not what we're talking about? I choose to see the beauty in me. My wealth lies in my nature and potential. I transform my weakness into strengths. I realize that I am a being of light and allow myself to shine. It's not like there's big requirements. Look how that lights up. That's a good one. Learning how to love myself. Ponder on that for today. And let's see what you might want to share tomorrow. All right? As always, many blessings. And have a good day and sleep well. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.